no man can take a woman and transform her into what he wants her to be. She came in and is willing to allow you to tell her what you want and sure submit to those. You're not God, and you're not the potter maker. So your hands ain't on no pot, sweetie, taking a woman and conforming. You just don't have that power. You probably would like to, but you don't have that power. You can take her, like I just said before, with the womanizer and the guy who, me being in your studio, and say, baby, these are the qualifications, and she chooses, which is her free will to never be yours, to hit them points or not. And when she chooses to hit them points, you then choose to keep her or you choose to shake her. Because you can never take water. Hold on. You can never take water, baby, and make this 7-Up. You can pour it out and fill it back up, but this will never turn to what you wanted. You're not Jesus. You ain't turning water to wine. That's not how it happens. Now, you can't take a woman and make her what you want. You can tell her what you want, and I'm gonna give her power back, and she'll choose to be that. But you don't get the power of saying you made her that. Whether an entrepreneur or a mother or a wife, she chooses to let you do that by telling you, I'll submit to those orders.
Robert was only going to marry the freakiest, the nastiest, the stankiest of them all. He was Mr. 12 Play. He was Mr. Bump and Grind. And you had to match him for him to marry you. As you're telling your story, make sure you tell how you and 4 other dancers were in the back of the tour bus with him because you were trying to move up the ladder the old-fashioned way. Not through hard work, but through nepotism. You trained him, you conditioned him, you enabled him by being willing to do any and every nasty, freaky thing you could come up with so that you could beat out all the other females. You were there at the beginning of his career. Therefore, you trained him. You conditioned him. You built him into who he is. Every time you said yes, every time you were willing to go along with it, every time you did exactly what you thought he wanted and needed so that you could go from unknown to dancer, to principal dancer, to girlfriend, to fiance, to wife. It was a process. And there were steps along the way. And those steps were dirtier, nastier than the steps before. And for 16 years, you did it willingly. You took it in every hole. You ate as much cooch as you could, all for the fame and the fortune that he had. To leave that out of your story is to leave the truth out. Every class you teach, every student that comes to your class is thanks to Mr. Kelly. He paid for your dance classes. When I worked for you, you would leave sometimes when I was there going to a dance class. Sometimes you wouldn't be there, but you would come in after I got there, coming from a dance class that he paid for. Professional dance classes, professional dance studios paid for by Robert Kelly. So every single person that comes to any of your dance classes are paying for what you learned as a result of Robert Kelly. There's a huge difference between the dance moves you had before Robert Kelly in the early days and once he started paying for your dance classes. There's the before Robert paid for dance classes and the after Robert paid for dance classes. Every dime that has come into your life since you met him is because you danced for him, because you were married to him, because you got child support from him, because you appeared on reality shows to talk about him, or because of dance lessons he paid for. You don't earn a dime without Robert Kelly for your entire adult life. So how you could betray him and talk about him and be as disloyal as you have been is beyond understanding. You did sexual positions like this to show him you were the freakiest of the freaks. You were a freakazoid, and you were going to be the freak that he needed. You walked in the door with the sexual gymnastics so that you could out compete, out sexualize all the other contestants. And there's nothing wrong with that. Own that. If you can throw your leg behind your head and tickle your cooch at the same time, and that impresses him, own it. Be proud of that. But don't play the victim. You had a fiance that you would leave, get on the tour bus, and go climb in the back with other dancers and freak on R. Kelly, all on tour. Then, once he made you the wife, you had other females sleeping in your bedroom. And you did that because that's what you chose to do. You did it for years. So if he's a monster, as you say, you built that monster. Every time you ate pussy by the pound and took it in every hole for his fame and his fortune. You did that to yourself. You're not a victim. You actually were the predator. A couple of years ago, Robert had a birthday party in Atlanta. Drea Kelly showed up at the party dressed sexier than I've ever seen her. Breasts pushed up and out, short mini skirt, hair done, makeup done, gaining entrance into the party and trying to get access to him, trying to get close to him, looking and behaving like a groupie. Clearly, they hadn't been in contact with each other. She looks like, she's kind of feeling herself here. It's one of the best looks I've ever seen her in. And she's trying to get his attention. He probably didn't respond the way she wanted. And that's what led to this negative press that she's doing. Do you realize you need R. Kelly to stay alive in order for you to keep making money exploiting his name? You and your children saying these things about him puts his life in danger. He could potentially get killed in prison. And it compromises his chances of getting out. Do you think people are going to try to pardon him when you're on here saying he molested his child? You're preventing him from getting released. You're possibly getting him targeted to be killed. Also, you can make a few fucking dollars for you and your kids. If he dies, that's the end of your fucking money train.